going on? Welcome back to Grit and Grace podcast. How y'all doing out there? Good to see y'all. Good to be seen.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hello, podcast world.
What you been up to, Grit?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this,
Yes.
and a little bit of that.
We've been busy today.
Yeah.
We're a little weary today, y'all. Bear with us.
We're gonna do some well doing though.
We're going to do some well doing. For real. Always, no matter what.
We're gonna do some well doing. Well, hello, it's summertime. Summertime.
Ooh, summertime. Hey. Time to sit back and unwind.
Yes.
And be hot here in Texas.
Real
Child, it's hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. And it's just the end of June. How about that?
How about that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sure enough.
Won't cool off till late September.
If then.
If
It might be hot through Thanksgiving. That's how Texans do sometimes. Y'all know.
We're not claiming that though.
We're not going to claim
I'm
that.
coming against that right now.
In the name of Jesus. All right. I'm standing in agreement with you, honey. Because baby, it's hot.
Yes.
Anyways, y'all. I want to thank y'all because, last couple of episodes, I have really, really, really pleaded with y'all. I almost begged, honestly, to leave some comments in the videos, and you guys have satisfied me. I still want some more. Don't get it twisted. But you guys have left some comments. You guys have been very encouraging to us both. Just phone calls, text messages, thumbs up, shout outs. Yep. It has been such an encouragement, and thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all.
Truth.
We appreciate y'all so much. Yes. We had some y'all. If you haven't caught up on the episodes, catch up because we done had some episodes and some depth to these conversations, okay? And we done let some stuff out the bag. We done got real personal.
Real.
But that's what we wanted to do anyway. We want to let y'all in on our journey and on our in our lives, and just kind of go with us on this Grit and Grace journey. And one of the episodes that you guys kind of gave us some feedback on was the single episode when I went from single to being married. And how, Rev Deb and Papa Spencer, had a little issue with, when I got a boo thing and everything. But anyways.
Wasn't that...
Okay. Watch the episode. Didn't y'all tell me on that episode what y'all thought was going on when she said what she had said, and then what she had said, Papa Spencer had thought. Okay. Y'all let me know, and then we'll just solve it on there. Don't even worry about it. We ain't got to revisit this at all.
Not today.
Right. So we also want to talk about, in that episode I discussed how, single life was hard, but then it got great. But it was a lot of times where I felt a little alone. Mm-hmm. Before I met my husband, I still have a best friend, right? Her name is Leetra. Hey, Lee.
Hey.
And y'all, we was neighbors. Like, we stayed like neighbors. We was right next door to each other. And went to church together, fellowship together, family together. We did, all kinds of stuff together. And she moved to Houston. And I'm glad she moved to Houston because that's what God told her to do, and she was obedient to God. But she left me, in my mind, she left me. And then my friend Belinda left me. And then my sister and brother-in-law left me. And, that's what I thought. Still getting a little deep. I'm still a little hurt, apparently. But I felt a little alone.
That's natural and normal.
Yeah, I felt alone.
It is.
And, I used to, at some point, I loved my alone time and my me time and my, I ain't got to answer to nobody. I ain't got to go home and cook if I don't want to. But at that point, in that season, it was really a bit of a challenge. My son had went back to college after the summer. My bestie moved. My other bestie moved. My sister, so it was just a whole thing, even though I still had my Spencer family, But, Leetra was single, I was single. We was just been kicking it together. But I had a really challenging time at that point where I didn't like being by myself. I just didn't like it. I didn't feel like I needed to be by myself. I felt like I needed my friends. I needed my family. I needed those people very, very close to me to call and go out with and hang out with and, you know, go to dinner with, brunch with, breakfast with, whatever. Girl, I'm cooking breakfast. Come over here. Okay. Girl, let's watch this movie. Okay. Let's sit down and do our budgets. Like, we was, like, for real. Like, joined at the hip. And I really had a bit of a challenging time navigating through that part of my life at that point in time. So I think I finally got to the point where I wasn't as lonely, but it started out being a very lonely process. You learn a lot about yourself when it's just you.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
It is. And I know that, you know, we have to look at, there is a difference between, like you said, being alone and being lonely.
Yes.
Right?
Very much so.
And sometimes you don't even know that you struggle with being alone or being lonely until you're putting in those predicaments or those spaces of life, which are good.
Yeah.
And you can still be surrounded by people
for sure, still be lonely,
Still
feel like you're alone.
Right. So let's make sure we're clear on it. Just doesn't. It's not about being surrounded by people, right? It's really, you're talking about yourself. And I was sharing with Cynthia, I remember way back when I first got married. Well, you know, when I left home, I have sisters, so there was always a lot of people in the house. And then I went to college with my best friend, and we had been friends since the 7th grade. So we were roommates in college, and we kind of did a whole lot of life together. Her family knew my family, blah, 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 blah. And then, fast forward, I ended up getting engaged and getting married, and Spencer was in the military. And I did not want to be in the place by myself while he was going in and out of being deployed.
Right.
So my roommate continued to stay with me while I was married. And when my husband came home, we were Three's Company. And so, I remember when I was thinking about this, I struggled with like going to a movie by myself, going to eat by myself. And it was really at that time that I had to come to terms with what was I struggling with, right? Because we have to be comfortable being alone. We do. Right. Because you are no good to yourself or anyone else, right? You're always going to use people, places, and things as your crutches or your definition of happiness.
Oh, facts.
So we really have to learn, if we haven't already. Some of us are still in our process, and we get that. But, you know, we have to learn how to be alone. And it's okay. How to be in those still, quiet places. I have a cousin that teases me all the time. He said, do you ever watch television? Every time I come into your house, the television not on. I say, Carl, I do watch television. Right. I just don't have to have noise.
All the time. Yes.
I don't have to wake up and turn the radio on or turn the television on, or I'm at a place where I can really just enjoy solitude.
Right. Yes.
Just quiet. Right. But it took me some time to get there.
Yes,
of course. I had to be comfortable with me. I had to learn me. I had to really pour into me, and I had to really commune with God to get to a place, right, where I really, really was. I was okay with my own thoughts, and I was okay with working out some things and figuring out who I was intrinsically, right?
Yes, exactly.
You know, my favorite color is this, and I like to go here. And but I'm talking about from the inside out.
Yes, deep down.
Yeah. And those are stages, because when you get to that place, whether you're single or married, it doesn't really matter. You can navigate in spaces.
Yes.
You know, you can occupy spaces that don't bring you fear, that don't bring you anxiety, that don't bring you these uncomfortable situations where you feel like I can't maneuver, and now I'm paralyzed because I'm in a situation where I don't have so-and-so with me.
Right. I'm so uncomfortable. What do I do in this place?
Yeah. So when I was talking to one of the individuals, a couple of people called us, as Cynthia said, in text with feedback, and we were grateful for the feedback. And they really talked about how transparent we were really helped them, because they're struggling with some of the same issues.
Right.
And one of the things that some of them are struggling with is just being alone.
Just
like
being alone.
they're in a season right now where they're single, or they're struggling in relationships. They're, they had a best friend, some things happen in that relationship, or whatever the dynamics are. Somebody moves and they're really struggling with, what do I do now?
Yes.
Right?
How do I navigate through
How do I
this
navigate?
process, through this
And that's
journey?
why you have to have a blended life
For sure.
of being alone sometimes.
Yes.
And being
Yes.
with others.
And being with others.
And not
Yes.
trying to fill your schedule with busyness and things and people and things to do all the time, because you're running from that space of being alone.
Just being alone. Absolutely. And one thing that I learned after I got through that hurdle, and just really started enjoying just being by myself, when you mentioned just being in the quiet and just being in solitude, no TV, no music, nothing going on. If you think about it, when you have so much stuff going on, if you've got the TV going on, the radio in the back room, people talking, it's hard for you to hear. It's hard for you to focus on one thing. But when there is quiet, when you are just by yourself alone, you can hear things that you would never hear if there's so much going on in your life. You can hear the voice of God. You can hear that still voice tell you which way to go. My baby, I'm glad you're here with me. I finally have you to myself, because that's what God told me. He was like, I had to get you to this point where I just have you to myself so I can get you to the next place where you need to be. Child, it was a big thing for me. Woo, getting choked up. But that was that's what he needed for me. And that's what I needed. I just didn't realize it because I was just so used. And we both goers. We go. But we do it with purpose, of course. Purpose over pleasure. But we do it with purpose, of course, right? And it's very imperative that we have that time of solitude to ourselves, just in the quiet, so you can really hear what God needs you to do next. You can really understand what it is that he needs you to do in your life for this next step, for this journey that you're on. So that's what I think about when I think about the quiet and then the busy, and just being alone within your thoughts and allowing yourself to receive what it is that God has for you, and then just being okay, just being by yourself. Because when you get to know yourself, baby,
that's a whole nother chapter.
It's a whole nother chapter.
And the other thing that happens when we don't really know ourselves, we kind of take on the personality and attributes of others.
Yes.
And the things we really thought we liked and enjoyed, we really didn't. We really don't. We're doing it to appease the relationship.
The person, yes.
So you really need to know, do I really enjoy that?
Yes.
Or am I just doing that because that's what you like?
Am I really eating scrambled eggs because I like scrambled eggs?
Or because you like scrambled eggs.
Because you like scrambled eggs, and that's just what we always cook.
Yeah. No. And sometimes you don't know, because you've just gone from one relationship to another, right? And you've defined yourself by other people that you really don't even know what you enjoy.
Exactly. So how you gonna know if you don't spend time with yourself?
So you have to. I mean, it's really, it brings mental clarity. It brings so many other things, and it really, we talk about balance and protecting your peace and all of them wonderful words.
Yeah.
But you gotta know what you're balancing, what you're protecting, what you're inviting, what you're embracing, based on who you are, because we are all uniquely, fearfully, and wonderfully made, and none of us are alike.
None of us.
None of us. I don't care how much Cynthia and I have so many things in common. There are some things that we just don't both enjoy.
Absolutely.
But I don't know that if I don't know me.
If you don't know, exactly.
And if I don't spend time with me,
you,
right?
Yes.
And if I don't really focus on me, focus on what makes me happy. What is my center?
What is your center? What do you just enjoy doing truly to your core? What is something that you just, what books do you like? Do you even like to read? What music do you like? What brings you joy and peace from the inside out, not from the outside in? Can you just sit and just get to know yourself? Can you go to the movies and just be happy by yourself at the movies, just laughing and talking, just by yourself? I mean, not talking to yourself, just by yourself.
Okay.
I
was wondering.
Yeah, no, we're not.
You scared me.
We do not endorse talking to yourself.
All right. We definitely don't endorse answering yourself.
For sure. But just enjoying yourself. Enjoying yourself, who you are as a person. like Rev said, fearfully and wonderfully made in all your glory and all your wonderfulness. Just enjoy who you are as a person, as a human being. It's who the person that God made you to be.
And it releases a lot of stress and pressure that we put on ourselves. Really, because it takes a lot of energy and effort, right, to just kind of be in that mode all the time where you're just, you know, absorbing and wanting and absorbing and looking, you know, and it really, I mean, and honestly, it can really be a turnoff for some people, right? So we really want the people in our space that God has designed for them to be in our space. And a part of that is knowing who you are.
Absolutely.
It is. I mean, it's a simple thing, but it's a powerful thing. And I think we talk about it a lot, but are we really being intentional about doing the work? Because we can talk about, I need to work on, you know, being alone in my alone time. I need to work. But are we really doing that, right? We have to really get to a place, because if we're not careful, 5-10 years from now, we really rehearsing the same thing, right? And that's what happens to us. And then we say, man, if I would have just did this, if I would have looked at that, if I would have not fought against Alitra moving, my sister and brother moving, my best other friend Belinda moving, if I wouldn't have, you know, I spent a lot of time wrestling with that instead of trusting that was what I needed.
Exactly.
For growth. And development.
For sure.
Of you.
Big time. Honey.
Same thing.
The growth came.
Really, because it does.
I mean, literally. For real. For real. It came. But how do we get to that? What's the first step? What would you say the first step is?
I think the first step is, of course, it's going to be, you're going to be nervous, all right? Because now you're going into, it's going to be uncomfortable.
It's scary.
For me, it was uncomfortable because now I'm in a space, okay, so what do I do? How do I do this? What should I do next? I want to call. Oh, no.
Chad, you want to call.
Oh, I want to go. So, you know, just saying that I'm going to take this time. And, you know, and I say for those that are really struggling with it, like a couple of people that I talk to, you know who you are. I would just say really just start with small, don't try to eat the whole elephant one bite at a time. So I would say just try even lunch.
Yes.
Even breakfast, you know. I know for me, I had to just kind of jump in there with both feet.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you know, just kind of start. I know people that travel by themselves. You know, I don't know if it's some stuff. I'm just not, you know, I'm just keep it 100. I don't know if I'm going to do that.
I ain't going to do that.
But maybe, you know. But I mean, really, but the other things that really were stifling my growth, I recognize.
Yes.
We're always wanting somebody around you all the time.
All the time.
You want people to, you know, come, you know.
Yeah.
No. So I say, you know, kind of start with something small and then really journal. I'm really big on journaling.
Oh, yes.
Because I think really when you put
huge.
stuff on paper, when you put your feelings on paper and how you're feeling, you're able to kind of reflect back and look at that. And then give it to God. Pray about it.
Period.
You know, we talk about it, but let's pray about it. And let's ask others to join us in that, because there's going to come a time in our lives where we're really going to have to come to terms with the person in the mirror. Ooh. We got to come. We got to face who that person is. And sometimes because of whatever we've gone through and been through, it's hard to face because we're still dealing with some unresolved issues in us.
Yes.
Doesn't make you less. It doesn't. It does not. You're still worthy. There's still purpose. There's still all of those things.
Always, yes.
But we have to work on ourselves.
We have to.
And a part of that is getting to know yourself. You got to know what buttons are being pushed or not pushed. You got to know what really is the center of your joy. You got to know what's really the seat of your happiness. You got to know what the goals and the purpose and the passion that you have for you. You got to know what you like.
You got to know what you like.
You got to develop. You got to know your own appetite.
Come on. The other way, if you don't, you're just going to be eating anything.
You're going to be eating what somebody else told you it tastes good. Okay, they said it tastes good on me.
I'm just going to eat it.
So we have to do the work on the front end in order to be able to breathe, right?
Yes.
And I think once we start to take those small steps, it becomes easier and life gets better.
Absolutely.
It does. It does. And I'm not saying, I love people. I am a people person. I am an extrovert times 10.
For real.
I do. You know, I'm still that way. But I still had to do the work of just being able to be in my own environment and being okay if I don't pick up the phone, if I don't turn the corner, if I don't get in the car, if I don't go, and I said no, I'm going to do this, I'm going to stay right here today. This is what I need, because I'm working on something.
Period. And it's yourself.
Yeah, really. And ask those that are in your circle, to help you, hold you accountable. Check in with you and hold you accountable to see if you're doing the work to help you get to that place. Because you're never going to be happy and complete in relationships because you really are still struggling with who you are.
Who you are as a person, exactly.
You really are.
Start small, y'all.
Start small.
Turn the TV off. Turn the radio off. Just sit.
Just breathe.
I mean, even if you start with like 10 minutes a day, turn everything off. Sit in the quiet. Meditate on your thoughts and just kind of get to know who you are. Talk to God, just like we're talking to you right now. Just talk to Him in your own voice, your own time, and just enjoy being with you because you are wonderful. You are beautiful. You are worthy, and we love you, and God loves you too. Yes, indeed.
That's right.
Start with 10 minutes. We're going to check back on y'all. Start with just 10 minutes a day.
10 minutes.
And then we gonna work our way up to dinner, or lunch, coffee, Starbucks.
And I know whatever. Some of us, we have a lot of people that are dependent on us, so you're going to have to fight for even that space. And I get it,
That's good.
And again, invite your village to help you.
Yes.
When you get a break, when you get some opportunity for yourself, do it. Spend it just on yourself. Don't run around for others and do stuff for others. Just say, you know what, today, I'm going to just slow it down. I'm going to just stop right now. I got a moment. That's what I'm going to do.
And we're not talking about going and get your pedicure and your manicure, or going to play ball. We're talking about alone time. Nobody else but you and God. Because I know I was quick to be like, I'm just gonna go get me a pedicure, just me, myself, and I. Child, 50 people around you. Y'all just had a whole conversation. You're talking to your nail tech. That don't count. You're gonna be trying to cheat. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you again for joining in our podcast. We hope that something was said. We know that these segments are short and sweet, so there's definitely not an opportunity to unpack a whole lot. But we just kind of want to give you some food for thought, some things to think about, just some nuggets, and that's really our whole point and purpose. And at the beginning, we did not say who we were. For those of you that don't know who we are,
we sure did not.
We need to tell you. My name is Spencer.
I'm Cynthia Scott.
We're sorry.
Our bad.
We're just
we hop right on in that thing, child.
Right in.
It was
we
burning.
hope you are enjoying the summer. Find some things to do. Get involved.
Stay cool.
Live your best life.
Because you only got one.
You only got one.
Yeah. Okay. We love y'all.
Take care. Bye-bye.